This is the Sabbath School lesson for the second quarter, 2021.
Lesson 4 for April 17 to 23, An Everlasting Covenant, read by Dr. Percy Harrold. Thursday, April 22, Covenant Obligations. Genesis chapter 18, verse 19 reads, "For I know him, that he will command his children and his household after him, and they shall keep the way of the Lord, to do justice and judgment, that the Lord may bring upon Abraham that which he hath spoken of him." As we have seen so far, the covenant is always a covenant of grace, of God doing for us what we could never do for ourselves. There is no exception in the covenant with Abraham. In his grace, God had chosen Abraham as his instrument to assist in proclaiming the plan of salvation to the world. God's fulfillment of his covenant promises was, however, linked to Abraham's willingness to do righteously and to obey him by faith. Without that obedience on Abraham's part, God could not use him. Genesis 18:19 demonstrates how grace and law are related. It opens with grace, "I know him," and is followed by the fact that Abraham is someone who will obey the Lord and have his family obey as well. Faith and works, then, appear here in a close union, as they must, as we read in James 2 and verse 17. "Thus also faith by itself, if it does not have works, is dead." Notice, however, the phrasing of Genesis 18 verse 19, particularly the last clause. What is it saying here about Abraham's obedience? "For I know him, in order that he may command his children and his household after him, that they may keep the way of the Lord, to do righteousness and justice, that the Lord may bring to Abraham what he has spoken to him." Though obedience is not the means of salvation, what importance is it given here? According to this text, could the covenant be fulfilled without it? Explain your answer. The blessings of the covenant could not be enjoyed or maintained unless certain conditions were met by the beneficiaries. Though the conditions were not needed to establish a covenant, meeting them was to be the response of love, faith, and obedience. It was to be the manifestation of a relationship between humankind and God. Obedience was the means by which God could fulfill his covenant promises to the people. Covenant breaking, through disobedience, is unfaithfulness to an established relationship. When the covenant is broken, what is broken is not the condition of bestowal, but the condition of fulfillment. So to finish today, in your own experience with the Lord, can you see why obedience is so important? Can you think of any examples, either from the Bible or from your own experience, where disobedience makes the fulfillment of covenant promises impossible? If so, what are they? And more important, what is the remedy? This lesson was read by Dr. Percy Harrold for Christian Services for the Blind. It's supported by the Sabbath School Department and Hope Channel Australia, and is rebroadcast by Christian Record Services and through podcasts at It Is Written in the United States, Hope Channel Germany, and through Apple iTunes and SoundCloud. Remember, God is always faithful.